Tonight, the Spokane School Board discussed its options for a new sports stadium downtown, the latest from the meeting including the next steps for the stadium.
Plus, a Spokane doctor accused in a dark web kidnapping plot faced a federal judge today. How that plot was discovered tonight.
After a nice couple of days and, to be honest, a dry last month and a half, now we have several rain chances moving forward, especially for this upcoming weekend.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Hi everyone, I'm Regina Ahn. Well, our top story tonight, the Spokane Public School Board voted to move forward with a plan to build a new sports stadium in downtown Spokane.
So previously the board was planning to replace Joe Albee at its current site, but a local business group, a minor league soccer team, and Mayor Nadine Woodward are pushing for the downtown site instead. So here's the very latest. In a 4-to-1 vote, the board decided to move forward with the downtown option, but only if several parameters are met. Those include SPS retaining all ownership with a priority on usage rights. SPS would receive sufficient free parking for district events, and an effort would be made to partner with businesses of color for services relating to construction and operation of the new stadium.
I believe that the concept of a downtown stadium has merit and offers the potential for significant benefits to equitable access for students and fiscal stewardship of district finances.
Equity for our students means a lot of things. It also means that we need to take care of the students that are drawn to the arts and that, see that as their path to success and identity. And we have to do more than just hear them, hear the civic theater. We need to not negatively impact them.
Now, Nikki Lockwood was the only nay vote on today. As you just heard, she's concerned about the impact of the downtown stadium would have on the nearby civic theater. As for what's next, district leadership needs to negotiate with both the civic theater and the public facility district on a partnership. The leaders must report back to the board with a final decision no later than May 5th.
This next story sounds like it's straight out of a movie. A Spokane doctor accused of plotting to have his estranged wife kidnapped, assaulted, and drugged faced a federal judge today.
KREM 2's Morgan Trow is here now to tell us about the alleged plot uncovered by an international news organization investigating the dark web. Morgan.
These hearings were nearly 3 hours long and featured arguments from the defense and the prosecution. The judge even said that this case is striking and a departure from the norm, if there's anything normal in his business. We want to warn you that this story may be difficult to hear for some viewers. I need the target kidnapped for 5 to 7 days. While being held, she is given at least daily doses of heroin. She is also strongly persuaded to do a few things within 2 weeks. 1. Stop all court proceedings. 2. Return to her husband in the chaos you created. 3. Tell absolutely no one about this. In newly unearthed documents, a user by the name of Scar215 messaged a group on the dark web to pay $50,000 in Bitcoin to kidnap, assault, drug, and extort a Spokane woman. Federal prosecutors believe her estranged husband, Ronald Ilg, was that user and he didn't want to continue their divorce. Ilg is charged with attempted kidnapping after the FBI was tipped off about the plot by the woman. FBI Special Agent and key witness Ryan Butler testified today in the suspect's preliminary and detention hearing that the wife was informed of the plot by the crew of an unnamed international news organization investigating the dark web. In late March of 2021, Butler says Scar215 messaged the site to harm Ilg's wife and offered thousands of dollars. Along with the kidnapping and drug injections, she was to be taught to do heroin, and the hitman was to record videos and pictures so Scar215 could use them as blackmail. According to court documents, Scar215 also offered a bonus if the goals of her halting court proceedings, getting back together and to be intimate with Ilg, and planting drugs in her home, giving her drugs, and taking photos of her doing drugs were met. Butler said the FBI was able to identify Scar215 as Ilg by obtaining account records from Coinbase.com, which was used in the alleged transaction. The account was under Ilg's name and included his phone number, email address, and social security number. This was not the first time investigators allege the doctor used the internet to hire an attack. In late February, Scar215 requests a hitman to assault a former employee and break her hands. Altogether, court documents show Scar215 transferred over $56,000 for the attack on both Ilg's former employee and estranged wife. Butler was a part of the FBI group that executed a search warrant at Ilg's home on April 11th, where they found a safe which contained a sticky note with the name SCAR215 and a password written below it. On the same day, Ilg was questioned by FBI agents at the Spokane airport as he returned home from Mexico with his girlfriend. Ilg told the agents he was hiring a hitman as a way to commit suicide so his assets would go to his girlfriend. The defense confirmed Ilg's attempted suicide with 46 Xanax pills. His suicide note, in which he admits he made giant mistakes, was found in the kitchen next to a business card for one of the FBI agents. His lawyers told us they are confident that they will be able to prove their client has mental health issues and should be in a psychiatric facility instead of in custody. And they also say that there is no definite proof that SCAR215 is actually Ilg. The defense had a passionate response, urging the suspect is a major flight risk due to him being dangerous, his amount of money, and his intelligence.
The federal judge ordered for Ilg to remain in custody with no conditions for release. His next court appearance is scheduled for May 5th, but his lawyer assured me they would be going back tomorrow morning to prove Ilg qualifies to be moved to a mental health facility. Reporting at the studio, Morgan Traub, KREM 2 News.
All right, Morgan, thank you. The Washington legislature has approved a measure requiring police to intervene if they see a fellow officer using or attempting to use excessive force.
The bill was prompted by the killing of George Floyd 11 months ago, along with requiring police to intervene if excessive force situations are in place. It also requires police to report wrongdoing by another officer to that officer's supervisor. It would forbid retaliation against police who intervene or report wrongdoing. The bill now heads to Governor Inslee's desk for his signature.
Well, a new version of Idaho's fetal heartbeat abortion ban has advanced. The Senate panel passed a measure that would outlaw nearly all abortions once a fetal heartbeat can be detected. The legislation makes providing an abortion after a heartbeat that can be found punishable by up to 5 years in prison. It would also allow the woman who receives the abortion to sue the provider. The bill has exceptions for rape, incest, or medical emergency. It now heads to the full Senate for their consideration.
The USDA has extended free school lunches for all students until June of 2022. Before the pandemic, families needed to meet income requirements to qualify for free breakfast and lunch. But as school closed during the pandemic, the USDA eased restrictions so schools could distribute meals to all students at pickup and drop-off locations. The USDA says it is boosting the amount schools are reimbursed for each meal.
All right, let's turn the page to a check on weather now. We have been very lucky to have this beautiful weather that we've seen really all week this week.
Yeah, it's been pretty fantastic,
Yeah.
right? But that unfortunately is quickly changing. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us in the Outdoor Weather Center tonight. Thomas, so far tonight still pretty nice, but the wet weather's moving in.
Yeah, and when we say wet weather, it's going to be more than maybe a couple showers because we have a good chunk of rain heading our way this weekend, so you have been warned.
Okay, I guess we'll take it, right?
Yeah, we do absolutely need the rain, that is for sure. But by mentioning that it's more than one day of rainfall, we know that that's a pretty significant change from the last couple of months. But all in all, it was absolutely beautiful for today. Upper 60s, low 70s across most of the region. Still quite nice out here for tonight. 55 degrees as of the 11 o'clock hour. I'll take it. Standing out here in our Outdoor Weather Center. Should be down into the mid 40s by the time we get to tomorrow morning for low temperatures. Now, for our next two weather systems, aside from a bit of cloud cover moving overhead for right now, a little bit of a dry weather system off to our north, one that has a lot more moisture packed into it off to our west. This is where the big rain chances are going to come for this upcoming weekend, especially for this upcoming Saturday. That'll probably be the day most likely for not just the most rain, but the most prolonged rainfall as well. But as mentioned, it's more than just one day that stands out. So coming up, I'm going to break down day by day what each of those rain chances look like in terms of widespread or scattered and in longevity. We'll break all of that down coming up in just a few minutes.
And that is a good point that some folks really do want the rain for their plants, etc. Right?
Bottom line, we need the
We
rain.
need the
right?
rain.
Maybe next time we could just have it on the weekday versus the weekend.
There you go.
We're being
It
picky.
only aligned with our schedules.
Right. Come on, Thomas.
All right, well, still ahead here tonight, there are a lot of events happening tomorrow, including the annual Stand Against Racism event. We'll tell you more about that coming up after the break.
Plus, later on, Spokane health officials say we're on track to be pushed back to phase 2 of the reopening plan, where Spokane County stands right now in the reopening metrics. We're back after the break.